So the teasing and bullying for liking anime in middle school didn't work. And you still like anime. And now you're going to your first anime convention, and you're scared. And, well, you should be. But don't worry, because I'm here to help you navigate your first anime convention. After you've purchased your ticket that is unnecessarily expensive, you're going to want to look at a very specific spreadsheet, which has over 30 names of pedophiles and abusers that frequent certain conventions. And you're going to look for the convention that you're going to go to on that list. And you're going to look at every single person who frequents at these conventions on that spreadsheet, and you're going to stay clear. You're going to keep your distance. Okay? And number 2, you're going to want to bring some essentials because you're in an enclosed space. It's like school, but there are no windows. You're not going to see sunlight for at least 7 hours. You want to prepare and make sure you have everything you need in case of an emergency. Here's some essentials. Deodorant, cash, deodorant. Did I mention deodorant? And lastly, this. If you are self-conscious about hygiene and you feel like you always reek and your body odor is always at a high, good. You should be self-conscious, especially now. You need to assume that every single pore is filled with just a mass of sweat, and that sweat outputs so much stank that people around you can't breathe. Okay, you need to be swiping deodorant on a regular. Put a timer for every hour to go to the bathroom and just take a swipe. It takes 2 seconds. You should be swiping deodorant underneath all of your crevices the same amount of times that you swipe your card to make an art print purchase. You're also going to want to make sure that you do a test run in your cosplay, because if you're going to an anime convention, you're going to cosplay. Because if you go in regular clothing, you're gonna look stupid. Just kidding, people don't judge, but if you have the opportunity to dress up outside of Halloween on like a Thursday in the middle of April, who's not gonna take that opportunity? People who don't go to anime conventions, that's who. You wanna make sure that like you kind of walk around your house a little bit, make sure everything's secure, make sure no buttons are falling off, make sure the hat's pinned down. Can you breathe in this cosplay? Are you able to move normally like a human being? These are all important questions you need to figure out before getting into the car and going to the convention center. Last but not least, deodorant. I stress this to the highest degree. Imagine a convention being like the adult video section of a video rental store, okay? It's compressed, condensed, little to no air conditioning, sweltering, not a window in sight, just, it's a health hazard at the end of the day. Sometimes, I want to go to convention, but it's known for just reeking every single time it's on, and it's a turnaway. So, hello, commercial break. Thanking Cash App today as they have sent me the 1-Up Gummy Sour Challenge. The challenge being that I put 3 of these very sour gummies in my mouth and I don't make a face for 30 seconds. Apparently it's so sour they had to send a neutralizer just in case you can't take the sourness. Here I am clicking on the 30-second timer, and there we go. Everything was good for about 15 seconds because, the gummies were sitting at the top of my mouth, and it wasn't until it hit the sides of the tongue, like it was said and illustrated at the front of the package, did things take a dark turn. But I knew that I had to pull through. I saw some people do this challenge and they couldn't make 10 seconds, and I'm not a wimp. I mean, I am, but I'm not gonna let you see that side of me. So I'm holding it all together. I'm looking at the timer. I swear to God, it was probably the most painful 9 last seconds of my life. But thankfully the neutralizer was there to help me in these trying times. Anyway, thank you Cash App for sending me the 1-Up Sour Gummy Challenge. It was really fun to do, and I hope you had fun watching me almost cry. Anyway, we'll see you later. Okay, so let's say that you've passed all those check marks and now you're at the convention. You're there. You're at the front of the building. Now you gotta stand in line. You have to stand in line, and it's sweltering, it's hot, and it's a little bit embarrassing. You feel a little dehumanized because you're standing outside, and the convention center is near some sort of street, right? And there are just casual people driving by and watching you. animals in a zoo. Standing outside of the convention center to get in is like after recess going to the cafeteria. Everyone's breathing a little harder than normal. There's an anticipation in everyone's step. This is kind of like an intro, a taste of what you're gonna get when you step inside. So let's say that you make it to the front of the line, you give the staff your name, your ID, and they will give you a comically large badge that you must wear throughout your entire experience in the convention center. And this badge is going to completely ruin the aesthetic of your entire cosplay. So for the next 5 minutes, you have to figure out how you're going to wear this in an aesthetic way without interrupting the display of the fit. Some people go for the belt loop situation. People will put it on their bags. Some people, they just let it drop and hang like balls. But you have to wear this throughout the entire thing. Actually, I don't know. I assume you do, or else you're gonna get kicked out. Once again, I just have anxiety. I don't know. Okay, so you have your badge. Now you go through security. It's like TSA, but also within prop check, because people forget that you can't just bring swords and weapons. That they have to, fall within the guidelines. So make sure before you get there, you look at the prop guidelines on the website, so you don't have to take anything all the way back to the car. After all those trials, you finally made it inside the convention center. And immediately, 3 of your 5 senses will automatically activate. There is a sensory overload that just washes over you. Visually, it's gonna look like a kaleidoscope. A lot's going to be happening. These types of conventions, it's like Halloween on steroids. The stakes are higher, people are looking, and people actually care about what they're dressing up as. And if you think, I want to dress up as this one character, but I don't know, it might be a bit too niche, don't worry, because I saw salad fingers once. This was the last thing I was expecting. It wasn't even on the roster of things, this was not within my headcanons. He was just there. Also, I did dress up. Alright, this was the first day. This was a trial run. Alright. Audibly, it's going to sound like a mall in 2005 in San Diego. There's going to be a lot of noises happening from different angles. Occasionally, you'll hear grown adults yelling catchphrases, and sometimes it's hard to tell if it's the actual voice actors saying their lines for someone, or if it's a role player, and that's a fun game to play. Okay, so you're a bit overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, don't worry, I got you. We're gonna head to the artist alley. Every single item you have favorited on Etsy, all the sellers are in there. Here you can buy art prints, keychains, cardboard cutouts, whatever your heart desires. And if you're lucky, you'll also see body pillows and 20x24 posters of anime characters who are under the age of 18. Stay away from those. Something that I've also recognized at these conventions is that there is always a 6-foot shelf that's like an enclosed space of just anime figures. Some of them are displayed, and then some of them you have to go into like a corner. It's just one corner. If there was an earthquake and you were in that space, you would be dead. Also, all the boxes are kind of sticky. It's a tricky place to go, because the thing is that these corners, they always have anime characters that are pretty niche and you can't really find in person to buy, except for at these conventions. But also, how did they obtain them? Who did they kill to get them? And who do I have to kill to get the version of them that isn't sticky? There are 2 ways to view the artist alley, especially when you're with a group of people. You can all go together down each aisle and then back up, but just on the other side. Or divide and conquer, where you all split and you spread, you divide and you conquer by just grabbing a bunch of business cards and taking pictures, conquering the tables, then coming back together and doing a selection of, okay, this is a table that I really like. They had some fun stuff. I think maybe you would like the Spy Family print from that artist, and I know that because I saw you favorited one of their art prints on Etsy 3 days ago, because that's what friends are for. When I went to MegaCon, I had friends. I still have those friends, but I had friends. And there's a few tables where I saw stickers and art prints of the gay pirate show, and I sent them to my friend. I was like, hey, you gotta come over to aisle 20. They got your homosexuals right here. Me personally, when I go through the artist alley, I have this mentality where if I want something, I just need to see it in person, and that satisfies my interest. I'll see something online, and I'll be like, that's the coolest thing ever. And then I go to a convention and I see it in person, and I'm like, oh, there it is. Nice. All right. I think I just need like visual confirmation that it's real and that it exists. But the drive to buy it completely like shatters the moment I see it in person. So that's how I save money. But most people break the bank in the artist alley. Okay, so you've walked around the artist alley and you're a bit hungry. You want a little snack. Don't worry. Pizza Hut and like 3 other food vendors are there to help you in starving times. It's like an airport. You're kind of confined in this space and you have to eat the foods that are available to you at that moment, so they're naturally going to taste better. And that's how I feel about the Pizza Hut MegaCon. I ate there for 3 days and it was like the best meal I ever had. Also, please drink water. I know most of the temptation that sits in the bottom of your stomach is, I want a Dr. Pepper. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want a crisp Dasani water bottle. That's what you need in these times. You're sweating with I'm sweating right now with this fit. I'm sweltering. You are sweating. You need to be hydrated. And a bottle of Pepsi or Mountain Dew, it's not gonna help. Do you know how rarely I see people actually purchasing water bottles or drinking water at conventions? It's concerning. Then again, it is expected from people who go to conventions. They never drink water. They're like Europeans. You know when you go to Europe and from what I've heard, there's like no water anywhere. You've had your snack and now it's time for the panels. There are panels where you can see voice actors from animes and shows talk about their experiences. You can even go up to them and ask them questions. It's a fun hour and a half. There are also panels put on by regular people just like you and me. Here are some fun panels that I have discovered recently that might interest you. The description for this one's crazy. I gotta step out of the way. Like, how do I continue with that knowledge? How do I walk around the building casually knowing that's happening in a separate room, just mere feet away? Besides panels, you can also just meet the voice actors. Here's me with the voice actor of Glamrock Freddy. It was kind of funny because I was the only person in line who just wanted a picture. Everyone wanted something signed, and then I was like, hey, can I just do a little, Nice. Thank you. I got a follow back on Twitter after that interaction. That was when I had my blue check mark. Don't ever be scared or nervous interacting with a voice actor because they're a nerd just like you and me. We're all here at the anime convention. So the sun sets, your parking permit has expired, and the last time you put on chapstick was at 9 a.m. Your first convention day is over, and you made it. And now you prepare for the next day. And it's just a continuous process until it's all over. And then you plan for the next one. It never stops. Anyway, I hope you've learned a little bit and lost some too. Anyway, I'll see you later at a convention.